Welcome to World's Finest, the weekly DC Comics review. I'm Phil, and of course...
I'm Lilith.
Well, I was just thinking, I wanted to get your thoughts, because I was talking to Charlie, who I do the Marvel review with, and what do you think about like the similarities between Convergence and Marvel's Secret Wars?
Well, last year's event, Future's End, let's be real, Days of Future Past, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, like now they're basically doing like the same event at the same time. It's a world with like a bunch of their multiple timelines jammed in there.
Yeah, it's weird timing, especially considering how rushed Convergence was. But, you know, DC and Marvel steal from each other, although Marvel steals more from DC, just saying, it's a fact. So, I don't know, I think what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I think that Marvel did it better, the original Secret Wars. I'll just throw that out there. Everybody's mouth's like, what?
I know. What?
I can be objective. What do you think about it?
As a fan of both, it's just, the timing just seems, well, not weird, but, somebody was copying off somebody.
Well, and Marvel almost has to do Secret Wars at this particular time because they're getting their cinematic universe and their comics and all their ducks lined up in a row to match up. So they almost have no time for, Secret, Civil War and Infinity War. So
it just seems weird that they named it Secret Wars again.
It worked the first time.
Yeah, I guess we're going for name recognition, yeah.
That's pretty much Marvel's game, though, right?
What, name recognition?
Well, they have going for them, really. Anyway. Sorry, Marvel fanboy. You can send the hate mail to me.
These days, I think everyone's hurting Marvel, DC. Speaking of DC, let's do what we're here to do. Convergence number 7.
Yeah. It's a thing that exists. Okay, let me just read the blurb, and then I'll tell you why I feel a little bamboozled and hoodwinked. Because they baited me in with the cover and the blurb and everything. They got me this time. So it goes, the largest battle in the history of the multiverse is here. Who will win and who will lose when Demios battles the combined might of the Earth 2 survivors, the heroes from Kingdom Come, the Titans, and Parallax? All this and more as the heroes of the New 52 join the fight. Largest battle, you say? In the history! Okay.
Bigger than Crisis on Infinite Earths, bigger than Final Crisis, yeah.
That whole thing just kind of annoyed me. But I thought it was an okay issue.
Yeah. My whole problem is it just seems like the first 4 or 5 issues, they kind of seem like they were taking their time just with the Heroes of Earth 2, and then, like, bam, number 6 hits, and
somebody called Jeff King and goes, hey, this isn't just an Earth 2 situation.
Yeah, last 3 issues, throw everyone in.
Yeah, basically.
A lot of the spin-offs don't have a definitive ending.
Yeah, I mean, next week's the finale. I'm afraid nothing's really going to actually be resolved at this point.
Yeah, or do you think it's going to be the situation where they're just like, well, stay tuned. Sometime in the future, you'll see these timelines pop up somewhere.
Yeah, they're almost going to have to. I just don't see Convergence issue number 8 wrapping any of this up neatly.
Maybe this was what cracked the New 52, and that's why we get Divergence.
Yeah, basically, I think so.
So what did you rate number 7?
It's a little shocking, so hold on to your hat. I gave it a 1.5.
1.5?
Yeah. It was like repetition. I can't stand redundancy.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Well, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same thing because last issue threw everyone at the big bad. I'll go 2.25. I like the art.
I really don't know what's going on. Like, this is weird because last week was great. Scott Lobdell was back once again as the co-writer, so I really don't know what happened.
Or you think they're just spinning their wheels waiting for that last issue?
You really can't do that, though. It needs to be cohesive and even-keeled, and it just hasn't been. So, I mean, this is a penultimate issue? Wow. That's the only reason why why it's solo is that this is like the second to last issue. And it makes me nervous. It makes me feel like they just got my money. Like this, that's it. Like I have nothing to show for all this money I just spent on Convergence. Hopefully issue 8 changes my mind.
Yeah, the pacing seems way off. All right, let's get to the spin-offs. They're usually a little better than the main series. All right, Convergence Green Lantern Corps.
Oh, you want to get the worst one out of the way, do you?
Yeah, let's go.
I'm just not a Green Lantern girl at all. I found the Parallax issues to be better than the main Green Lantern Corps, so that's saying a lot, considering. So yeah, but it shouldn't be this way because it had Jon Stewart in it. But
Yeah.
he can only do so much when there's Guy Gardner and Hal Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, as a Green Lantern fan, I had hopes for this series, but this issue, it just seems like, how goofy can we make Guy Gardner and have him save the guys who are actually wearing power rings?
Are they trying to make Guy Gardner a thing again?
I don't know. He was a Red Lantern for a while, and who knows?
Isn't that what it kind of felt like? Like, hey, we want to bring him back into the main and have him take over everything.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't know if he's even showing up after this, because once they come back, the main Green Lantern book is Hal Jordan, #1 Universal Outlaw. Yeah, and then there's like Green Lantern Lost Army with John Stewart and a bunch of different Green Lanterns like Kilowog, but I don't think Guy Gardner's in it.
This absolutely felt like they were totally like trying to push something, and I don't like that, especially because I just don't like Guy Gardner.
I'll give this one a 1.5.
Ooh, ouch! I'll give this one 2 3/4 actually, because the artwork, I actually like the artwork that was provided by Steve Ellis, and the cover was by Tony Harris, was very interesting.
Yeah, the art was okay. I couldn't save it for me.
I mean, I go in with low expectations when it's Green Lantern. I'm just being real.
Yeah, but I mean, Green Lantern could be so much better. I mean, when Jeff Johns was writing it, it was a lot better, and other people have done it. All right, Convergence Hawkman #2.
Another bad one you just want to get right out the way, huh? Brutal! That's all I have to say about it.
I hear you. I had hopes for this, after the first one, and I had a feeling, and it continued in the second one. I was like, okay, when's something going to happen, really?
4 words for you. Bat people, rat people. No, thank you.
Yeah, but I didn't know if that's because this is taking place around Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I haven't really read much Hawkman from around that time.
I couldn't get into this story.
That's the whole problem, is the time frame is, I think back at that point, Hawkman really wasn't much. Hawkman and Hawkgirl probably were just 2-dimensional characters. I don't think they ever really got fleshed out.
2-dimensional? Wow, you're giving them a lot of credit. It was kind of a me, Tarzan, you, Jane situation with them, from what I remember, before like the late 90s. So.
Yeah.
The artwork wasn't even that interesting. The cover didn't pull me in. It actually almost made me go, maybe I could just skip this one. I wasn't familiar with anybody on the team that wrote this and did the artwork for it either, so it was just like...
Let's just say the best part of the issue was the preview in the back. No, I'll be generous. I enjoyed it a smidge more than Green Lantern, so I'll give it a 2.
Yeah, I'll give it a 2 1/4 because I did enjoy it a smidge more as well than Green Lantern. I don't know, the Thangorian Shadow Agents were kind of interesting. Like, they've been the most, I think they were some of the most interesting, even though they were, like, not really fleshed out. They've been, like, the most interesting villain for this week anyway.
Well, yeah, if they would have stuck with them instead of, like you said...
like a Batman or Superman title.
Yeah, if they would have stuck with the Thanagorian spies instead of the Rat Men and the Batman.
Okay, what else do we want to talk about?
Convergence, Justice League of America?
I kind of like this, but then I kind of didn't.
Well, it was the Detroit Justice League stuff.
It's the Tangent universe. Like, I like some of the Detroit Justice League stuff. I do. But the Tangent universe has never been my favorite.
And we really didn't get, like, the heavy hitters for most of this issue, like Martian Manhunter and Aquaman.
I know, they lure you in with the cover. You're like, yes. And then you're like, reading it and reading it. Oh.
Yeah, they sidelined your boy Aquaman.
I know. That's a mortal sin right there. I mean, this is the good Aquaman, too. So,
yeah.
Like...
Aquaman, Martian Manhunter, and Zatanna. So basically they sidelined the most interesting characters.
This is unfortunate.
I mean, I think they were trying to show how capable other members were and how, what heroes they were, but basically they just survived until they could free the big guns.
At least I will say I did like the artwork. Maybe not the cover so much, but the artwork definitely was very hyper detailed, which is something I kind of enjoyed.
Yeah, by Criss Cross, yes.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it's a very up and down week for Convergence. But this one actually gets a decent grade finally. It's a 3.
3.5.
I mean, you just got to compare it against the week. You know what I mean? It's just, we're grading on a curve here.
Yeah, exactly.
The bar is low.
I know, you just read my mind. I'm like, better than Green Lantern, better than Hawkman. What about the preview in the back? Did you for Batman Superman?
I don't even really need a preview for a Batman or Superman title because I'm gonna read it anyway. Same thing with Wonder Woman. So like,
Uh,
I don't even really know much what to say. Like I was gonna read it regardless.
like I said, I like we were talking this week. I'm gonna give it a chance. I mean, after I read this, I was a little more interested. But think about the world we're about to live in. Commissioner Gordon was about to beat the crap out of Superman.
And maybe at the end of all of this, they connected, and we have like Dreamweaver kind of situation, and it's all a dream, and we go back to before the New 52. Before the 52, like, darkest day, brightest, darkest night, brightest day. Like we're just back at that point.
Please.
Honestly, that because it just feels so surreal for these guys to be making such bad decisions that it has to be a bigger arc or something.
And what about about Lex Luthor at the end on the hoverboard?
Looking like a Green Goblin.
Exactly.
I like armored parlor suit Lex a lot. Something felt off about it.
So does that mean he's not in the league now, or is he going to be sporting the more?
Well, he's always so duplicitous that I don't know. I can't really call it.
Well, that was the other thing me and Tyler were talking about. We're like, the next thing coming up in Justice League is Darkseid War, and it looks like, a fully powered costume Superman's in it. It looks like Bruce Wayne, Batman's in it. So when does this take place? Oh, I forgot. DC said they don't care about continuity anymore. I forgot.
Yeah, and I think I'm okay with that, honestly. Was it? Oh no, it was Charlie, who I do the Channel 52 podcast with. We were discussing how maybe whether or not DC should include the multiverse as like a campaign strategy for their movie and TV universe, since we have two Barry Allens now.
Yes.
And we just we were saying that maybe just keep the comic books to like Elseworlds Tales and like other Earths that we haven't explored and stuff like that, and maybe make the TV universe a definitive kind of Earth, like Arrow is in Earth 1, Flash is Earth 2, DC Legends of Tomorrow is Earth X5 or whatever, and the movie universe is like something that's like an elsewhere world that everybody loves.
Yeah, but do you
like
want to give the TV shows that much power? Because as you point out from time to time, the suits kind of stick their head in a lot on the TV shows.
Well, they've been doing it less and less, especially with the Flash, because it is Jeff Johns, who's the main guy. So yeah, I mean, for me, I think that if they made it kind of a definitive list about what's what and introduced the multiverse as a campaign marketing strategy, I think that they would kind of find better reception.
That's just what I'm afraid of, is that's what we're going to get from Convergence, is non-consistency across the board.
I don't know. I have high hopes after we get, we need a bigger, better reboot. Like, let's just be real.
Yeah. And they have to do it. If they're going to commit, they have to commit. Because, I mean, New 52, they restarted Superman from scratch and most of the guys, but Batman kind of stayed the same.
That's all that I'm asking. That if you're gonna reboot it, do a hard reset and just stick to your guns.
Start from day one with everyone.
That's all I want to see, and that's what I was hoping for Convergence. Like, hey, here's these little things that we want to do. We want to see if you guys like it, but that's not the case, obviously.
Well, that's my whole thing with Convergence and even Secret Wars over at Marvel. They're just like, they make it seem like nothing's gonna be the same after these series, and then you look and it's like, well, a lot of stuff is gonna be the same, and the stuff that changes, I don't know if we want that changed.
Yeah, it's one more week to go before it's all said and done, and I'm very interested to actually read the titles that come after this. If it has any, well, I wouldn't say the next title, I'd say the third title after this whole thing, I think would be the better thing. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about something that actually didn't disappoint me.
Okay.
You probably didn't read it, though. Convergence Swamp Thing.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I actually liked this Swamp Thing for the Convergence event. But and then also we had Vampire Batman in this one.
Oh, sweet.
So, yeah, Swamp Thing's looking for a connection to the Green Renewed, but to get it renewed or whatever. But then he's like up against Red Rain, Vampire Batman. So it was interesting. It was like very dark and gothic, the way that I kind of like my Swamp Thing.
You liked it because they followed the pattern. Did it seem like it could fit in that classic Swamp Thing run back then?
Exactly. In the Swamp Thing meets Batman, but not really kind of thing, also kind of worked in this one. So, the cover was by Kelly Jones. The artwork was also by Kelly Jones, and the writer was Lynn Wine. Yeah. And I just thought it was a really interesting story. I mean, it really doesn't fit You know what I mean? With,
Yeah.
life or death of a planet kind of story, but a lot of them last week didn't either, and those tended to be the best ones.
Yeah.
This one was a 3.5 for me too.
What about Convergence Adventures of Superman #2?
I liked this one. It was fun to me.
Yeah, I think it's hitting the mark the way all the good Convergence spin-offs are, that it seems like it could fit into that time frame. I think that was the code they had to crack with these, is it could it fit in the time frame. It's this week it was a crisis.
Yeah, it was tense too. And then they actually treated Supergirl like an actual person and character. She felt very fleshed out. The crux of the story is basically on her shoulders.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it seemed like especially this #2, it seemed like it was more Supergirl than Superman.
And I was okay with that.
Oh yeah.
But it's Marv Wolfman. I mean, he's kind of hit or miss for me. This one was definitely a hit, in my opinion.
Yeah, more in the 80s, right? I don't know if you read Superman back then, but
I did. I like Spit Curl Superman. I say that a lot. What'd you give this one?
I'll give this one a 4.
See, I must just be a softie, because this one is a 4.5. I think that I just like the treatment of Supergirl after the Supergirl Matrix situation. It was just like, ugh. And all the women have just been kind of shoddily thrown together in this whole Convergence adventure. That finally seeing a really well done story featuring a woman of the DC universe, I was just like, so that's probably what it is, quite honestly.
You want to do Convergence Batman and the Outsiders #2?
Oh yeah, that one was a good one.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
I like Batman and the Outsiders, actually. And Omac was in this one, so I was that was like a blast from the past. I thought the artwork was really great. I loved the cover. It was just so in your face and interesting that you almost couldn't help but pick it up.
Well, yeah, it could be like a poster almost.
Yeah, I like that story though. I did. They did a really good job on this one. Unlike the last week with the Batman, the bad Batman issue, where you're like, how can you do Batman wrong? Well, they did it right.
Yeah.
So shout out to you, Mark and Drake.
But yeah, the art's really good. And once again, it seems like it could fit into the time frame that it's set. Too bad we're never going to see this team again for unless it's in Elseworlds.
Yeah, but honestly, I think that's where DC bread and butter is, and where they should actually kind of focus a little more. Because honestly, the monthly titles are just so dry and so stale, and we've just been there, done that, to the point where they're making Superman this weird, like we were talking about, Lobo Punisher kind of solo guy, which is everything that he's not. It's the antithesis of what he is.
Yes.
So I feel like they need to wander in the desert for a while. I won't personally be buying the issues, but they can wander in the desert, and when they come back to their senses, I'll be here with open arms. That's my personal thing. They should focus on those.
Yeah. So what did you give this one?
This one was a solid 4.
4? Yeah, I gotta agree with that. You want to do Convergence Flash #2?
That's the A. That's the 5. I liked this one. I loved this one, actually. I love the cover. I love the artwork, the story, even though it's a teen universe and he's in Gotham City. It just somehow all really works. It felt like there were actual stakes.
Yeah, and it's Barry Allen. He tried to talk it out for at first.
Because that's who he is.
Yes.
Nobody actually understands that.
Exactly.
So I wanna definitely commend Dan Abnett, who wrote this. The art was wonderful. It was Federico DeLuccio, and the cover was by John Boy Myers. This was just on a technical level so great. This is Convergence done right for me.
Yes.
Even though it wasn't really a lot of resolution.
Yeah, although with Barry Allen, we know what the resolution's gonna be.
Yeah, exactly.
So I really can't fault them with not giving him a resolution. I was thinking 4.5, but you might have bumped me up to a 5 on this.
Yeah, I mean, especially if we're grading on a curve.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, the story was good. The art, I was really impressed with the art.
Really great cover.
Oh, yeah.
Just a really great cover. It sucked me in. I literally was like, ooh, and flip. Aw, it's over. I was sad when I got to the end of this issue.
Unlike some of the other ones this week where you went, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
The last one I have in my pile is Convergence New Teen Titans #2.
Artwork made it feel like a superhero orgy. Every single page. It was just weird. It was way too sexy for me.
Nightwing with the low-cut costume.
Everybody had a low cut
That's true. Men and women. Everyone had the low-cut costume.
I don't know. The story wasn't that great to me. It didn't... I'm like, dude, it's Tangent Universe Doom Patrol. I love Doom Patrol. I don't know. Like, it just didn't work for me, I guess.
It kind of wrapped up real conveniently where the Doom Patrol disappears and then they're just like, oh, I guess we got a happy ending.
That's what they do. That's all they ever do to the Doom Patrol. I guess it's time to go away now.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess when you only have 2 issues, and I don't know if they told them not to give it a definitive ending on any of these.
That must have been the mandate. Oh, but again, this is Marv Wolfman, like I said. The last issue that we just talked about with him, great. This one definitely missed for me.
I'd give it a 4.
Wow. This one is like a 3.
I was gonna say, maybe it's the nostalgia.
Definite 3.
Maybe it's just nostalgia. I don't know.
I could see that.
There was 2 more previews I wanted to ask you about your thoughts on. The first one, the Martian Manhunter preview.
Really excited.
You think there's hope there? Because I don't know. I don't know if I was going to pick it up, but then I read that preview and I was like, I might give this a shot.
I'll give it 3 issues. That's usually when you can just about tell.
I think they're turning him back around because I think like when they first started the New 52, they were trying to make him like the cold heart. His physical appearance would make you think he might be, but I think they learned their lesson with that.
This is what I find interesting, that, Superman and Martian Manhunter are kind of very similar.
Uh-huh.
And especially like in that complex of being the sole survivor of their planet, quote unquote, sole survivor of their planets, and, dealing with humanity, but, Martian Manhunter doesn't choose to put on a humanoid visage and all that stuff. And I think that part of his psyche is very interesting. But if you're going to do what they're doing with Superman, then we can explore all that other stuff that we like about Superman with Martian Manhunter now. And I think that's maybe what they're doing.
I hope so. What is it? Is it Damian Wayne, son of Batman, or what? Is that the title?
Is it?
Robin, son of Batman.
I'm not interested in Damian Wayne in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, really?
I just don't dig the petulant brattiness of it.
Oh, but there is one more I want to ask you about. The Batman Beyond one.
Yes, I'm here for anything Batman Beyond. But yeah, I'm excited for that one. Are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, it's on my pull list. Get that Fallout from Future's End.
Oh God, I was so glad when that was over. Future's End was tedious. It was like the first 3 issues were good. And it was just like, ugh, why are we still doing this story? I think that's what the smart thing about Convergence.
Yeah.
They did 2 months and we're done.
Yeah, that's what scares me about a weekly series that they stretch out for a year. It's like, I don't know if they feel like they have to like stretch, so it slows down at some point.
Oh, but I did want to talk about Mad Max Fury Road, Nukes and Immortal Joe #1. That's had a lot of buzz. It's I thought the story was interesting, even though I don't like Mad Max, and I'm definitely not gonna go see the reboot. But this almost made me want to go see the reboot.
Oh yeah.
Or is it a prequel? I don't even know. I don't even know what Mad Max Fury Road is.
Yeah, I'm not that big in Mad Max. I'm not sure.
But it was really interesting. The artwork was great. It was fast paced, and it's a lot of buzz. It was a lot of buzz online on New Comic Book Day. So, just if you like Mad Max, you might definitely want to pick this one up. Okay, so yeah, that is a wrap on Convergence week number 7. One more week to go. We're free, Phil. We are free at last.
We made it through. All right. Shameless plugs and self-promotion. If anyone wants to get a hold of me, talk some DC, you can email me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com, and on Twitter, I am @nightwingpdp. And if you want to get a hold of the show, we're on Facebook, facebook.com/World's Finest Podcast.
Okay. Well, you can find me on Twitter @Lilith Hellfire. You can find me on Tumblr, lilithfairyhellfire.tumblr.com. And please be sure to check out my blog, littlepopculturevulture.blogspot.com. And if you listen to the Flashpoint Work Queen Consolidated, I'm happy to announce that I stopped slacking and we actually have Facebook pages now. So if you want to go like them to stay up to date, because we're having this super cool Watch and Win sweepstakes contest for both Flashpoint and Queen Consolidated this summer. So if you want to go on there and check out information about it, please do.
All right. Well, come back next week. Last week in Convergence. See what kind of hole we have to dig ourselves out of next week.
Bring your ladders, folks.